I'm being told you have somebody very nervous. You make somebody a little nervous. I feel like your presence is very confident is what comes to mind, but that seems like such a small word to describe what you are. It's just very full. It's very true. The way that this person sees you is like, for me? God, they're for me? Really? That's kind of the energy that this person is in right now. No. Really? A very humble partner. Very humble partnership as well. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. This person is very inspired by you. This person is very drawn to you when you express yourself, when you get creative. This person is they're so curious about you. Like they're like kind of like, what's happening? It's like the moment that they think they have you figured out, something changes. And they're like, wait, what? No, wait. You excite this person is what's coming through. You give them a reason to believe in love, again, is what's coming through as well. Hope for a future. They see a future with you, actually. This is someone who's very open to a future with you. Like, it's not somebody who's like, oh, this is it, or nothing else. No, it's more like this person, they're very, very open. It's just like they can see clearly your future together, and they're just like, I would love that. I would love to be able to experience. Like for me, like they would love to be able to experience that with you. They could be waiting on you for a sign or a confirmation. They could be asking God for a sign or a confirmation, or the universe, spirit, source, whatever their belief might be. More spiritual than religious for sure. 6 of Cups, 4 of Cups. They're also working through their own. They have their own world going on. A lot of growth taking place for this person. A lot of financial growth taking place for this person. It's almost as if like while they grow financially, you're growing emotionally. Like you're becoming softer and lighter and more vulnerable, more safe within your body, within your home, within your life. But they're just very curious about you. Like you've captured this person's attention because the way that you show up in this world is very, very free-minded, very normal, very go with the flow. 6 of Wands. Yeah, it's somehow like you're structured. Somehow your go with the flow is, it's like you're not careless. You're very, very careful. And that's what this person notices most about you. You're very, very careful. You pay attention to detail. It's like you are somebody who is smart, but might not act like it, or might not show it. Like humble, very, very humble energy coming from you. You don't feel the need to prove to anyone who you are because you are so confident. That word coming again. You are so sure of who you are. You are so confident in who you are. And if you're not, you are very soon going to be. And again, this is what is most attractive to this person. You don't feel the need to prove your worth. You know your worth. You embody your worth. You choose your worth. And this person is going to choose you, is what's coming through. If they haven't already, is also what's coming through. 9 of Cups and death and rebirth. You're finally ready to break through the surface, to be seen in love, to be seen by this person. You're finally ready to open your heart to new love. You are, I promise you, you are. You might, it's like that, there's that little bit to go. But you're breaking through that surface, and the moment that you do, this transformation, this death and rebirth is going to ignite something in this connection, within this connection. It's been there, it's there. It's like the flame of this connection is just going to like, whoa. You're going to let it be free. The love in this connection. because you trust so much in yourself and you have such a strong connection to spirit source energy at this time. I'm being told that you have somebody very nervous to be in your presence right now. There's something that you've either recently said to someone or done to someone or even not said to someone that has this person a little nervous. I don't know why, but you intimidate this person. I don't know what you said or what you did. Maybe it was like the reservation of your energy. I feel like you didn't just you didn't do what you normally do. And we do have the Tower on the bottom of the deck coming up right away. So you didn't do what you normally do. Therefore, you are going to receive different results. There is somebody who is definitely thinking about you a little more often than they prefer to, with the Two of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, 222 may be significant for you. And the Magician card here. And the Wheel of Fortune. Whoa. Hold on here. Okay. So there's going to be clarity surrounding this connection. You're going to be receiving clarity surrounding this connection. Now, it might not come in the form that you want it to, but it's going to come in a form, that's for sure, with the Two of Pentacles here. Something also is coming through about the right timing, the timing of something. Somebody might be running into you is also what I'm being shown. But with the Two of Wands here, I feel like you're not giving this person the attention that they usually get. And so now they're like in their head questioning themselves. They're like, wait a second, why are they not, coming to me? Like, why are they not responding the way that other people have before? Well, darling, you're not like other people that they've been with, one. But two, with the Magician card and the Wheel of Fortune here, because you have better things to do than to worry about if somebody likes you, to be quite honest with you. You have better things to do. You have, it's almost as if like the world is giving you, God is giving you opportunities to explore more time for yourself, like explore different activities that keep you busy but also keep you motivated and keep you happy. And so you are almost like being pulled away from this connection with this person, but it's for the best, because it's actually giving them a chance to wonder about you. And honey, they are wondering about you with the Star card and the Chariot card. They're not going to be wondering for long though. This is forward movement. This is fast moving energy, somebody moving towards you, because they realize that you're not like anyone they've been with. They realize that they need to do things differently with you. And trust me, they are going to be doing things differently with you because they are not going to miss this opportunity to be with you. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. If you feel called to dive in further to your personal love connection, I offer readings through my website. You can click the link in my bio. Dear soul, before you leave, stay with me for just one more moment. If something inside your heart stirred while listening to this message, don't ignore it. Moments like these are precious. Sometimes God speaks in the quiet places of our hearts, and this may be one of those moments. Place your hand over your heart and say these words with faith. I am chosen. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is leading my life. His promises over me are alive, and my beautiful story is still being written. Say it again, and this time, believe every word. Let these words become stronger than your fears, louder than your doubts, and greater than every disappointment you've carried. Even if you cannot see what God is doing today, trust that He is working behind every closed door, every delay, and every unanswered prayer. He has never abandoned you, and He never will. As you leave this video, don't walk away with the same burden you came in with. Walk away with hope. Walk away believing that heaven is still moving on your behalf, that your breakthrough is closer than it appears, and that your life is held safely
in God's loving hands. If this message touched your spirit, please share it with someone you love. There is someone out there silently fighting a battle no one knows about. Someone who feels forgotten. Someone who is losing hope. Your share could become the answer to the prayer they whispered through tears. It could remind them that they are seen, deeply loved, and never alone. And if God places it on your heart to help us continue sharing these faith-filled messages around the world, you can support this ministry through a super thanks. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or any amount you feel led to give, every gift helps us reach another hurting heart with God's love and hope. May the Lord bless your generosity beyond anything you could imagine. May He restore what has been lost, open doors no one can shut, fill your home with His peace, and answer the deepest prayers you've carried for so long. Thank you for being part of this family of faith. Together we are bringing light into dark places, hope to weary hearts, and reminding the world that God's love never fails. There is something unforgettable about the kind of person who never tries to be unforgettable. They don't walk into a room asking for attention. They don't raise their voice so everyone notices them. They simply exist, and somehow the atmosphere changes. Maybe you have met someone like that, or maybe without realizing it, you have become that person yourself. It rarely happens overnight. It is usually born from quiet battles no one else ever sees. Once, you believed love meant proving yourself. You believed that if you explained your heart well enough, waited long enough, or loved deeply enough, someone would eventually understand your value. You poured pieces of yourself into conversations that never seemed to reach the places you hoped they would. You smiled when your heart was tired. You reassured others while secretly wondering who would ever reassure you. Then something inside you changed. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough that your soul whispered, "I've carried enough." From that day forward, your energy became different. You still cared. You still loved. But you stopped chasing. At first, it felt unfamiliar. There was an empty space where constant overthinking used to live. You reached for your phone less often. You stopped creating imaginary conversations in your mind. You no longer measured your day by whether someone remembered to text you. It was uncomfortable. Healing almost always is. Some people think healing feels like standing beneath warm sunshine. Most days it feels like sitting quietly with yourself, wondering if choosing peace means risking loneliness. Yet, every day you chose yourself, another invisible piece of your heart returned home. Without realizing it, you became lighter. Not because life became easier, because you stopped carrying what never belonged to you. Somewhere else, another story was unfolding. Someone had begun noticing your silence. Not the silence that pushes people away. The silence that comes from finally being at peace. At first, they couldn't explain it. They simply realized something felt different. The person who once seemed available every moment now seemed complete. That confused them. People often understand the value of presence only after its rhythm changes. They replayed conversations, little moments they once overlooked suddenly became important. The way you laughed, the way you listened before speaking, the way you never tried to become someone else just to fit into another person's expectations. The more they thought about you, the less they understood why you remained on their mind. It wasn't because you demanded attention, it was because you never did. There is a strange beauty in people who know who they are. They don't need applause to feel valuable. They don't compete to be chosen. They quietly become unforgettable. That mystery pulled this person closer without either of you realizing it. Every time they believed they understood you, another beautiful layer appeared. One day, you seemed playful. The next day, thoughtful. Sometimes deeply emotional. Other times, calm enough to comfort everyone around you. You were never pretending. You were simply growing. Growth often looks unpredictable to people who stop growing. The more they watched from a distance, the more one question repeated inside them. What would life actually feel like beside someone like this? That thought surprised them, not because they had never imagined love before, because this felt different. It felt peaceful. It felt safe. For the first time in a long while, they stopped imagining perfect moments. Instead, they imagined ordinary ones. Morning coffee, long drives without saying much, sharing tired smiles after difficult days, after watching sunsets that neither of you needed to photograph. The future no longer looked exciting because of adventure. It looked beautiful because you were in it, and somehow that frightened them. Because dreams become real only when someone decides to risk disappointment. That is where fear quietly enters love. Not before. During. They wanted certainty. A sign, some reassurance that opening their heart would not end in silence. So they waited. Not because they lacked feelings. Because vulnerability has always felt unfamiliar. While they wrestled with uncertainty, you were changing in ways no one could fully see. You were becoming softer. Not weaker. There is a difference. Softness born from healing carries enormous strength. It forgives without forgetting. It trusts without abandoning wisdom. It loves without losing itself. If you are listening to these words today, I hope you remember this. You were never meant to prove your worth to people who could only recognize effort after it disappeared. That truth alone can change an entire life. One quiet afternoon, something unexpected happened. Instead of wondering who was thinking about you, you realized you hadn't thought about them for hours. That frightened you. Not because you stopped caring, because you finally remembered how to breathe without carrying someone else's emotional weight. Sometimes the heart heals so quietly that we mistake healing for forgetting. It isn't forgetting, it is freedom. That same day, the other person felt something they couldn't explain. An absence. Not because you left, because your energy was no longer reaching toward them. For the first time, they found themselves wondering questions they had never asked before. What if they don't wait? What if someone else sees what I've been too afraid to acknowledge? What if I waited so long that I missed the life I secretly wanted? Fear has an unusual way of revealing hidden love, not perfect love, honest love. Suddenly, every excuse felt smaller than the possibility of losing you. Yet, life had another lesson waiting. Instead of spending your evenings wondering whether someone would choose you, you started choosing yourself again. You visited places that made your soul feel alive. You accepted invitations. You laughed without checking your phone every few minutes. You rediscovered old dreams that had quietly gathered dust while you waited for certainty from another person. The remarkable thing was this: the fuller your own life became, the less your happiness depended on someone else's decision. That confidence could not be faked. It showed in your smile, your posture, your conversations. People noticed. Not because you were trying harder, because you had finally stopped trying so hard. Then came another unexpected moment. You thought becoming stronger would make your heart harder. Instead, it made your heart kinder. That is the kind of transformation no one talks about. Real healing doesn't build walls, it builds peace. Peace is much more powerful. The other person eventually recognized something important. You were unlike anyone they had ever known. Not because you were flawless, because you made authenticity feel safe. You never competed, you never manipulated, you never begged for attention. You simply lived honestly. That honesty became impossible to ignore. Their old ways of approaching relationships no longer seemed enough. They understood that if this connection was ever going to become something meaningful, they would have to grow too. Love asks both people to become larger than their fears. One person cannot carry that responsibility forever. Here is perhaps the deepest realization of all. The greatest love story is never about convincing someone to choose you. It is about becoming someone who would never abandon themselves, even while loving another person deeply. Everything changes after that realization, because once you truly know your own value, rejection no longer defines you. Silence no longer controls your emotions. Waiting no longer becomes your identity. You become free. Free people love differently. They love honestly. They communicate openly. They walk away when respect disappears. They stay when effort is mutual. Most importantly, they never confuse uncertainty with romance. Maybe life brings another conversation. Maybe two hearts finally meet without pride standing between them. Maybe timing catches up with feelings that have quietly existed all along. Or maybe life writes a completely different chapter. Surprisingly, that possibility no longer scares you because your peace has stopped depending on outcomes. It now depends on truth. The truth that you are enough exactly as you are. The truth that healthy love adds to your life rather than asking you to shrink inside it. The truth that your heart deserves consistency just as much as passion. You deserve to hear this. The version of you that kept begging for reassurance is not the version that will write your future. The version writing your future is the one learning to trust their own voice. And that changes everything. One day you will look back and realize the biggest turning point was never the moment someone finally recognized your worth. It was the quiet afternoon when you recognized it yourself. That was the day your life began moving in a different direction. That was the day fear slowly lost its grip. That was the day hope became something stronger than wishful thinking. It became confidence. So keep becoming the person who feels like home to yourself. Keep protecting your peace without closing your heart. Keep believing that genuine love never asks you to become less in order to be loved more. The people meant to walk beside you will never require you to forget who you are. And if someone hesitates while you continue growing, let them learn at their own pace. Your journey was never meant to pause because someone else was still deciding. Life is far too precious for that. One day, whether love arrives through a familiar face or an unexpected one, it will recognize the version of you that learned the hardest of all. The heart that finally stopped chasing became the heart that was finally ready to receive.